Recently, I discussed how the cycle of abuse as portrayed with Hordak, Shadow Weaver, and Catra, but I didn't mention how it extended to Adora breaking the cycle. Recovering abuse victims regularly struggle with self-worth or feeling unloved. By what I mean is, when trapped in a cycle, the abuser tries to make the victim feel like everything is their fault, feel like the victim would be nothing without their abuser, or that their victim will never make it on their own without their abuser's guidance. They attempt to become emblematic of their victim's flaws and strengths so they can control them. This is why Shadow Weaver is so adamant that Adora's dream to become Force Captain, and why Shadow Weaver mocked Adora's effort in episode 7 and claiming that nobody will accept her is so impactful. It's just another method for Shadow Weaver to isolate Adora so she could manipulate her. So after coming out of a cycle, it takes a lot of effort to reset one's psyche and understand where to derive those feelings of worth and value from. And this is why the cycle will continue. Even if one person breaks the cycle, they enter a new environment and it continues because they don't know that what got them into that scenario was deriving their value from other people. A huge part of episode 2 is about Adora learning that the Horde is evil and being willing to put her life on the line to protect the innocent, then joining the rebellion in episode 3 and risking social outcasts. Adora's life has been shaken up so severely that she isn't 100% sure what to do from this point on. In my Glimmer video, I discuss how it's Glimmer who makes almost every decision for the best friend squad, while Adora simply goes along with everyone else's plan. Ordinarily, this wouldn't be an issue, but this is fallout from Adora's psyche getting pulverized as she's adjusting to her new life where, ironically, she's in more peril than she ever was before. Despite, being one of the strongest people alive, she can't defeat Scorpia even with her sword. Adora just broke free from a toxic environment that she never processed. This builds up into the mental breakdown in episode 7 where Glimmer demands Adora get some R&R. This would be a nice break, but immediately in the next episode, Princess Prom, Adora fails to protect Bow and Glimmer, then in the following episode fails a rescue mission. I say fail because Adora literally only escaped because Catra helped them. Following this, Adora struggles to learn healing magic to dispel Glimmer's curse. This series of beatdowns and failures weighs heavily on Adora's mind. She-Ra, the one who was destined to save Etheria but can't even protect a single princess. For all of Adora's childhood, she's been praised for her skills and success. Just like Catra, she derives her self-worth from the opinions of others. Catra struggles with this push and pull for the entire duration of her time with the Horde because she goes through the same issue, until the end of season 4 where Catra finally realizes that seeking the approval of others becomes a worthless pursuit when you know you're so much more capable and successful than those around you. At this point, Catra is left to ponder her existence on Prime's ship and come to terms with the fact that all her efforts amounted to nothing. Catra can finally embrace who she is, what she wants in life, now that she no longer derives her self-worth from approval of authority or the people around her.
What do you want, Adora?
This is why season 5 episode 11 Failsafe, Catra realizes Adora is suffering from the same issue that she did, deriving her self-worth from the people around her and trying to live up to these expectations, but with a much worse outcome, suicide. Adora didn't have the same journey of self-discovery as Catra. Adora had just been going with the flow of Glimmer and Bow, fulfilling her soldier duties. Everyone around her, except for Catra, expects Adora to risk her life to save the world. Now, will Adora save the universe from Horde Prime? Destroying the heart will prevent him from blowing up all the surrounding worlds, but not necessarily defeat him. So even if Adora follows through, there's no guarantee that anything will come from this sacrifice. Also, Adora didn't create Prime. Horde Prime has been around for millennia, and it's not Adora's job to kill him, which I guess it technically is in this circumstance of the show, but only because everyone around her says this is what she should be doing. And Adora feels like she has to do that, otherwise she will feel worthless and stuff. But the issue is, Adora never asked for this much responsibility. But she can't disappoint the people around her, the people who make her feel like she's worth anything. The Heart of Etheria is finally Adora's chance to be done with the stress of all of this forever. So she embraces it.
I have to do this, Catra.
Obviously, Adora can't say she's looking forward to it because, suicide is bad, but she doesn't want to feel like she doesn't want to because, she still derives her self-worth from the expectations of those around her in a typical people-pleasing fashion. Catra, as somebody who is in a similar situation, doesn't want to sit around and watch the person she loves self-destruct, which is why Adora, refusing to let Catra leave in the scene, makes Adora the asshole. It's just torture for Catra. I know it's kind of drastic to say that Adora is suicidal because, she's She-Ra, but I have more evidence to support this claim. In season 1, episode 12, yeah, we're all going all the way back, in the Light Hope episode, where Light Hope tells Adora to abandon all of her emotions and feelings and all that good stuff. It's more metaphorical to say that Adora never let go, but when Adora learned of all the expectations that she'd have to live up to in order to appease Light Hope and all the friends, Adora's people-pleaser self wanted to try and help out everyone, which caused conflict between Light Hope and Glimmer, which Adora started to feel responsible for as someone who was trying to live up to both of their contrary beliefs, while also trying to have her own life apart from it. From the end of season 1 all the way up to the beginning of season 5, Adora resented She-Ra, only transforming when she felt it was absolutely necessary. Unlike in season 1, where Adora would transform just for fun at times,
I told Queen Angela I would. Besides, people like me better as She-Ra.
this is hugely different from season 3, episode 2. In the beginning of the episode, Adora is trying desperately to show off her navigational skills and other traits. She's trying desperately to receive validation for how she is as Adora, not as She-Ra, fulfilling others' requests. This continues to the beginning of season 5, where Adora tries even harder to prove that, even without the powers of She-Ra, she's still just as valuable and worthy of everyone's admiration and it sounds dumb to say because it's so toxic. Anyways, Adora was rarely praised for being herself. People generally only appreciate her as She-Ra. Even though in episode 4, Glimmer and Bow try to dispel this, it doesn't stick.
Adora, She-Ra is not the reason we like you. We like you because you're our friend.
Your friend over there can turn into a 8-foot tall lady with a sword, and I want her on my side.
You're abnormally tall. Hello. I like your sword. It's first one's tech, right? Can I touch it?
Thank you. Yes, and no.
How does it work? She's not an it. She's my friend.
Who are you? And where's She-Ra?
Adora is bombarded with admiration over She-Ra's status, and not for herself, leading to self-worth issues. This is one of the reasons why celebrities struggle to fall out of the spotlight. They derive so much of their self-worth from the validations of others. The saddest part is, Catra was the only person who liked Adora as she was. Not only that, Catra has expressed her repulse of She-Ra, which is probably a shared wavelength that works for the two. Also, a funny tangent, I keep seeing people comment about Catra having Adora turn to She-Ra in the bedroom, and I want to say, first, get your mind out of the gutter, and second, absolutely not, because Adora hates that everyone defines her by She-Ra and her She-Ra duties, and Catra loves Adora for being Adora more than anyone else, and doesn't like the She-Ra stuff. In fact, Catra was so obsessed with Adora, not She-Ra, that she almost blew up the world.
I'm She-Ra. This is what I'm supposed to do. You're worth more than what you can give to other people. You deserve love too. Don't you get it? I love you. I always have. So please, just this once. Stay!
This is an extremely sweet moment because it alleviates Adora's worries about living up to She-Ra expectations. Catra's love has nothing to do with Adora's powers. Catra doesn't like her because of what Adora could be or the things she can do, but for who she is. Adora, that's what Catra likes, not She-Ra, which circles Tamara's point. Adora doesn't have to be She-Ra because she is worth more than what she can give to other people. She doesn't have to define herself by the things she can do as She-Ra. Catra's confession makes Adora change her mind, as she no longer wants to get blown up by the heart of Etheria. She now has somebody that she genuinely wants to live for. Somebody who doesn't place all these burdens on her just because she's a first one. And so Adora toughs out the failsafe to live the life she wants with Catra. Now that she's accepted as she is, and not for what she could be, Adora overcomes her self-worth issues with Catra's help. I don't make a lot of content for red-pilled people, but I know a lot of the folks who look up to people like Jordan Peterson and all those fitness and motivational gurus. A lot of them have an awful sense of self-worth, and they believe their value as a person comes from external things. People in pursuit of others' approval or a desire to be seen as a high-value person. They chase specific things in order to be considered a success because they derive their value from others, and that is used to determine their happiness. A lot of them are depressed and miserable with failing relationships because they don't realize that they are the ones holding themselves back. They don't feel valued or know what love really looks like, so they try and research how to achieve those things, and they get played by the influencers. I had a very similar experience. For 11 years, I wouldn't let myself transition because I was worried that everybody around me would look down on me. But once I embraced my differences, I didn't wake up every day wanting to die. A big takeaway from Adora is, if you live your life as a people pleaser, don't try to make people like you. Don't force yourself into a fake version of yourself just because you think people will like you more that way. You didn't choose to be born. You deserve to be happy. Life is full of people who tell other people what they can and can't be. So many people make themselves miserable trying to be those things. Adora didn't choose to be She-Ra, but she sure as hell doesn't have to define her life by it. But that's part of why I find Adora's journey inspiring, and why I resonate a lot with her. You're responsible for your own happiness, which is why you need to be happy with yourself first. A lot of people don't want you to be happy with yourself because it makes it more difficult to control people who embrace their own identity. If Adora learned that after leaving the Fright Zone, she probably wouldn't feel like she had to go to war with Catra. She might have decided to talk things out and try to understand her feline friend. In fact, Adora would know that's why Catra didn't want to leave the Horde. They were both suffering from the same problem, but neither knew a way out, so they were helpless. I find it hilarious that Catra figured out before Adora, but it makes sense. Adora was just going along with people who provided her the validation she wanted, while Catra actively sought out to one-up the people she sought approval from. Once Catra became the Horde's goat, there was no higher authority to appeal to, and she had a period of peace and quiet to rethink her life and understand herself. Adora shows how attempting to live up to everybody else's expectations lowers the quality of your life. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe or hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.